bastard gets free clears 'cause he's disabled and acts holier than thou and lords over everyone and talks down to our people. Azure will not harbor such a cancer again. I never want to talk to or see you again unless it's as a member or in heaven, and sadly, I am concerned both of those won't happen.
This is a small tale about drama in Final Fantasy XIV. It's rare for me to be front row center for some spicy internet drama, and while it might not be on the level of other drama in Final Fantasy XIV,
real-life racism is real!
Okay, maybe it is. Regardless, we are in a content drought at the moment. I thought I'd put together a small Christmas present for the community, documenting some of the craziest shit I've seen this side of bath salts. This particular bit of drama deals with a 10-year-old free company, or guild, for you non-14 players, its delusional leader, and the numerous people who have been caught in their wake over the years. There is the standard MMORPG drama you'd expect, but mixed in is weird religious stuff, bizarre role-playing, someone losing their job, restraining orders being filed, threatened legal action regarding offshore oil drilling, and the nerdiest revenge porn I've ever heard of. This is the story of Azure Infinitum and its leader Reika Fukushima, and how drama seems to follow him like stink on a pig.
Don't you want to become a cult leader? Here's how.
At first glance, Azure Infinitum seems to be no different than many other free companies that populate 14.
Structure your cult like an onion, with the most benign and helpful features on the outside and the most controlling, kooky, and evil parts at the secret inner core.
Hello everyone! Are you looking for an FC? Azure Infinitum is an active, friendly, and organized community, welcoming casual, new, returning, vets alike. Feat events, Discord, website, socials, Linkshell and more. /tell to inquire.
However, lurking underneath all of that is an organization that is evocative of a cult and a bizarre mixture of role-playing, law, and bureaucratic nonsense. The end result is a bizarre mishmash of a religious paramilitary group and the DMV. Some brief highlights. A. The actual rules and regulations of Azure are longer than the fucking Final Fantasy XIV user agreement.
Control their thoughts.
Our ideology answers all questions to all problems.
Let our doctrine think for you.
B. Leadership are expected to be trained for FC events. This training can take up to a month for simple things like hosting a maps night and learning how to tithe, or tax. For those who don't know what tithing is, participants 50% of all raw money earned. C. Bad fanfiction that is about as compelling as an atheist trying to conduct an exorcism, going back nearly 10 years, merging real-life events in with the game story.
Make them feel part of a special elite group with an important mission.
D. Claims that Azure Infinitum is some sort of large global media empire.
A good con man takes a little bit of truth and a lot of lies and pulls the wool over the eyes of the ignorant.
E. Parades through the game where people chanted, as free as the Azure sky.
Induce trance states and self-hypnosis by practicing thought-stopping rituals and repetitive acts like dancing, spinning, and chanting.
Free as the Azure sky. 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 Free as the Azure sky.
Over the top jokey comparisons to cults aside, you might notice that Reika comes up a lot when talking about the FC. Because, for all intents and purposes, Reika is the FC. Which is fine. It's okay to have hobbies and interests, and making administrative busywork your passion is fine. Just ask EVE Online players. But what is concerning is trying to turn Azure Infinitum into a brand and passing themselves off as being a video game industry professional. Either by lying by omission or by plain lying. To be clear, Reika does have some experience working for major companies. However, he has either made ridiculous claims or misrepresented himself. Reika's resume highlights a ton of massive projects and employment with a number of big-budget video game studios. The most egregious being claiming NCSoft wanted to hire him for a chief development officer for Guild Wars 2 team.
Make up stories about yourself to boost your importance. I invented air.
But, okay, maybe Azure is a brand and Reika can't let the dreams be dreams. They even state on their resume that they have a Flickr photo stream of over 1M viewers and 400k plus subscribers. They're obviously a successful influencer. Best as I can tell, Reika has not done much more than be an event photographer for marketing events and some low-level QA work. Unrelated, here is the resume of someone who did work as a chief development officer for NCSoft.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over them mountains?
So what do you get when you mix someone who wants to turn their video game guild into a thriving business brand with sane, rational members of society? Drama, a lot of it. Details are a bit fuzzy given that I've only had a chance to observe a portion of this firsthand, but there have been 4 different internal drama blow-ups with Azure Infinitum members and Reika. The first was the initial creation of Azure Infinitum. Details are lost, but Reika had problems with another FC they were a part of. Number 2 was an incident that has been partially documented on Reddit and alluded to by Reika. It also features Reika's special blend of role-playing with real life by creating a public band page on their website and creating a special term for band users, Skyfallen.
Tighten your group's bond by establishing scapegoats and enemies. Demonize outsiders as less than human, biased, corrupt, or conspiring against the group. Develop an us versus them mentality.
The majority of my knowledge of this stems from the aforementioned Reddit thread and seems to involve jealousy, accusations of poaching,
foreshadowing as a narrative device,
accusations of sexual harassment, and a minor committing self-harm. Incident number 3 was with someone Reika was apparently friends with in real life and is believed to be an incident known as the Sundering. Unfortunately, this particular incident did include some rather serious real-life issues for Reika and a rather unstable individual that included the unstable person creating Rule 34 out of Reika and other behavior that led to restraining orders and people losing their jobs. No jokes here, but it is odd that a very serious IRL event was made part of his RPG lore. Number 4 is the most recent and what I am most familiar with. Standard FC disagreements and drama, such as arguing over bullet points or the length of a survey, along with spicier things like wanting to start drama with the people who organize and run hunt trains on Ether because they monopolize content. People started losing their tempers, culminating with people leaving the FC and Reika leaving whatever semblance of sane, rational thought behind, starting with making ableist comments about a person getting free clears of ultimate content because of the disability. More details started coming to light, including how Reika treats people behind the scenes, including a belief that God and the FC were the only ones who could help him. Reika then donned their best Warhammer 40k Ordo Hereticus cosplay and searched for people who weren't loyal and kicking them for, and I kid you not, treason, for associating with people who left the FC or sharing snippets of his nonsense from the Discord. This resulted in Reika sending a cease and desist letter to a random former member of the FC. Presented is the PDF, with stunning legal masthead from Azure Infinitum and Associates, I guess. Here it is adjusted. Although I know everyone watching this is a legal scholar, for reference, Section 8.6.7.0 is California law regarding oil spills, while the US Code reference is part of federal regulations pertaining to banking.
He left his briefcase. Hey, it's full of shredded newspapers.
Nevertheless, bolstered by this cease and desist on oil drilling operations, and drunk on whatever well of insanity they decided to slurp from, Reika, along with what remained of her senior leadership group, decided the best course of action was to march over another FC house, emote/guard, and wait 2 hours demanding to speak with leadership, all while remaining in character. Because once you've exhausted all other options, including legal action, your only recourse is to throw an Olympic-level hissy fit. Anyway, that's everything to date. Unlike other people who had beef with Reika, I don't think I've ever said more than 2 words to Reika, and I'm not an angry ex-member.
bullshit.
I am just someone who found this whole ball of insanity very amusing. As a final note, I do want to note that Reika is, at this point, very practiced when dealing with various drama flare-ups over the years, and there are a few common tactics he likes to employ. 1. Claims of poaching of FC members and demonizing those who left as causing drama to try and paint people disagreeing with him as the bad guy. Remember the saying that if all day you encounter assholes, you might be the asshole? I feel it's pretty applicable here, especially if it's over 10 years. 2. Avoiding any sort of paper trail and insisting on voice calls for everything and insisting any screenshots are fake or taken out of context. Keep in mind that Reika's own rules insist on documenting issues and passing them on to leadership by taking screenshots. 3. Making appeals to authority or how they have hidden knowledge, like making grandiose claims to server-wide alliances or what other people are saying to them in private messages is so horrible they can't share it. 4. Using their supposed professional status to browbeat and intimidate people into keeping quiet, such as with the legal threats. It's why I presented Reika's general work history and claims and poked holes into it. Anyway, don't be afraid of this bozo or his nonsense. Decide for yourself if the various things shared on here, taken from numerous sources over a stretch of nearly a decade, are all faked and part of a grand conspiracy of haters, or if maybe there's some truth to what was shared in this video. I'm going to go touch all of the grass now, before the Sakarameno swordsman finds me. Have a good one.